Hello and welcome to VOA Presents YALI Special. I'm on the campus of Howard University in Washington, D.C., one of the 20 universities selected to host fellows from the Young African Leaders Initiative known as YALI. For the first time since President Obama began YALI in 2010, 500 fellows from all over the African continent are here in the U.S. studying public management, civic leadership, and business and entrepreneurship. During this program, I'll introduce you to 7 fellows studying at the other 19 universities. They come from 7 different countries on the African continent, and each brings a unique story. Several are hoping to further their young businesses, and some aspire to be the presidents of their countries, hoping that their YALI experience will give them the leadership tools they need to lead their nations to prosperity and stability. Our first fellow is from Kenya. His name is Jacob Ouma, but everyone calls him Joby. We caught up with Joby at the University of Virginia.
I'm always a strong believer in nurturing people. I always say the biggest investment you can make is in another life, because then it will outlive you. My name is Jacob Ouma. I'm from Kenya. I'm a businessman and politician. Currently, I'm in the University of Virginia studying civic leadership.
I believe that if we stand together, we can make this thing happen.
I knew I wanted to pursue politics, but I didn't have the financial muscle. After asking around from my friends, from the people I mentor, they expressed their belief in me. And I decided, okay, I will go for it. I remember vying in the primaries, winning in the primaries, and then the party was, the process was all flawed. I was there watching the TV, waiting for my name to pop up in the electoral board, only to see that my name was replaced without any legal hearing, without any due process being followed.
YALI, here I come.
So when this opportunity presented for the Washington Fellowship, I realized this is what I actually needed, because many people in my age would want to be leaders, but no one is there to mentor them. No one is there to teach them the way, to show them how to go about leadership or what to expect. I would say that the knowledge in YALI is the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. That is the bridge. You may have all the zeal, you may be doing so much in your own respect, but once you humble yourself enough and realize that you are not adequate in yourself, you need some encouragement, you need some synergy in order to go far, then YALI is the program for you. The beauty about this institute is that it's going to go beyond Kenya. From YALI, I am networking with other leaders in Africa. I believe this is the movement that is going to reshape the face of leadership in Africa.
Our next story takes us to Texas. As a young businesswoman, Ndeye Absa from Senegal found the city of Austin an inspiring place to study because it's a city booming with young startups. Let's hear Absa's story.
I do work on fashion, and I do work on making Senegal shining across the continent. And I believe that the best way we can represent the continent by transmitting that history through what we wear. My name is Ndeye Absa. I'm from Senegal, and I'm studying business and entrepreneurship at University of Texas, Austin. I do believe that the best way we can help on local empowerment is on recruiting people locally. We do train them, we do help them in terms of business capabilities, and we do make sure that they have the right understanding of the business and can help us go further. There are so many things I've learned so far. First of all, that's the business model as it is, the way American people, American citizens see entrepreneurship. Today we went to the food bank and it was amazing. And I've got to notify and to understand that hunger had also its place in America. Deep inside, I was really thinking I could do the same for Africa as well at a really wide level. We became a family. It's no longer Young African Leadership Initiative. Today we were celebrating the birthday of one of our fellows, and everyone was so happy since this morning. And we celebrated as well one of our fellows becoming the father of twins. This is really empowering me in terms of leadership skills, but also in terms of business skills. It has changed my life. I applied to YALI Fellowship because I consider it as an outstanding moment for a young African leader. I believe in my continent, and I believe that we are the generation we were waiting for.
Mildred Apenyo is a young Ugandan whose goal is to use her business to empower women. Let's look at how she does it.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
Our aim is to empower women from the inside out using combat sports such as kickboxing, mixed martial arts, dance, African yoga, and strength training. I've seen the look in women's eyes after 2 weeks of strength training. I've seen how elated they feel after a kickboxing class. It's fantastic having somebody say, "You've inspired me in this or that way," you know. That happens every Friday. My name is Mildred Apenyo, and I'm from Uganda. I am a Washington Fellow at the University of Notre Dame, and I am part of the Business and Entrepreneurship track. I applied to YALI because I had no idea about business and I wanted to learn more. I knew I was ignorant and I wanted to absorb all of this great information. I also wanted to find people with the same ideas and ideals as I have, and get more ideas, because that's the only way you can grow, right? I feel like the schedule is jam-packed. When we're not in class, learning CAPSIM, which is like this decision-making simulation, if we're not learning about, personal leadership skills, when we're not learning about, say, how to get funding, we are going to Michigan for a beer festival, or we're going to Chicago to tour and see all these big offices. So you almost have no time to sit down and absorb. Move your ankles, just move your ankles round. It's nice to know that I know people from 17 different countries now. Isn't that amazing? There are some people who I will keep in touch with from a business perspective. There are people who do poultry, there are people who do, say, jewelry, there are people who do financial development, and they're from different parts of Africa. Creating these friendships, it's all this crazy mix of human interaction. There's one thing we've been taught, so just like taking things one at a time, pacing yourself, that's one of the most fantastic things about YALI.
We'll now take a short break, but when we return, we'll meet one of Nigeria's top journalists.
I am Sheikh Asali, host and senior editor of VOA's international call-in talk show, Straight Talk Africa.
Today we'll examine the tobacco industry.
We pretty much touch on anything that you can think of. Politics, health issues, human rights issues, you name it, we talk about it. The issues that we discuss are pertinent to most people on the African continent. A very, very rare and unique opportunity to interact with their leaders.
We are able to touch on things that are important to people on an everyday basis. We hope that our viewers are getting inspired when they watch our show. They're getting a view of the world from a different perspective, things that perhaps are not in their immediate vicinity. Today, I could put in on the show something that is a little different, a little unique, and this gives me that inspiration to come to work. Welcome back to VOA Presents YALI Special. Oluwatoyosi Esther Ogunsheye is a journalist from Nigeria. She is a recent winner of the prestigious Knight Fellowship. It's one of several awards she's received, but her aspirations go beyond journalism. Let's hear Toyosi's story.
There's this adage in my country that says, opportunity only dances with those on the dance floor. So this program, that is the YALI Fellowship, and then this is an opportunity no young African should let him or her pass by. My name is Oluwatoyosi Ogunsheye. My friends call me Tosi. I'm from Nigeria. I'm studying civic leadership at the University of Virginia. I've been a journalist for 10 years with emphasis on investigative journalism. I'm the first female editor of my newspaper, which is about 42 years old, first female and youngest. The problem in Africa, and of course my country, Nigeria, is leadership. We have the people, we have the resources, but then you find that somehow we just do not get leadership right. I dream to be the president of my country someday, not because I just want to be president, but because I believe that I understand the challenges of my country. The more we look at political office as a position for good governance and the promotion of the ideals of democracy and human rights, the better it will be for the continent. Meeting other people from other parts of Africa has been amazing. And then you realize that you just see a part of you in everybody. It's challenging because you see fellows from other parts of Africa that have done amazing work, and their lives are a challenge to you. With the friends we've made here, these are people that are going to stick with us forever. It's amazing how close we're already. Sometimes I ask myself, did I know you from my former life or something? So I see this as a movement. Now that is what I would describe YALI. A movement for new change in terms of leadership, in terms of good governance, in terms of human rights for the people that we represent in our capacities. I think this YALI movement is something that would continue for the betterment of the fellows and the institution to represent.
Catching up with our next fellow isn't always easy because he is always on the move. JJ Zegbefia may hold the world record for the fastest climb of Mount Kilimanjaro. Well, he turned his passion or his love for the outdoors into a business model. We finally caught up with JJ at Dartmouth College.
My job takes teams of European and Ghanaian young people, and then we introduce them to life in the deeper recesses of the Ghanaian jungle, where we push them beyond their regular limits of physical, educational, cultural, and mental endurance. My name is JJ Kweku Segbefia, and I am from Ghana, and I'm the expedition leader for Brave Hearts Expeditions. I applied for YALI because I saw in it an opportunity for coaching and personal development and business education all in one category. I also get to meet the professors and the movers and shakers when it comes to business education, and even best of all, I get the practical knowledge that I can help scale up my business, grow it up to where I want it to be so that it is stable. Then I can also expand our revenue stream. And we project to make revenue streams in Accra alone of some $5,000 a year and $60,000 annually. So I had this impression that business education was going to be the classroom type. But here you get to do it, you understand? So sometimes it leaves you with an itch to quickly go back to your country and just apply it as quickly before it all runs out your mind. Yeah. Meeting people from different countries, even from the continent of Africa, is as culturally engaging as meeting non-Africans in Dartmouth or New Hampshire or Washington. And that's because you discover that although we are all from the same continent, everybody has different ways of doing things. If someone were to ask me why they should apply to the fellowship, I will tell them that they are going to learn in 6 weeks what they probably haven't learned in a lifetime. And it is also possible that they might also have to unlearn all that they would have learned in a lifetime in order to make use of what they are going to be learning here, because it's so interactive, it's phenomenal in terms of how it pushes the boundaries of your thoughts.
Eric Ntumba of the Democratic Republic of Congo is one of the fellows we met way back in Kinshasa, where part of his full-time job is helping his community. Let's hear his story.
I strongly wish that youth and young people like me, who are believed to be talented, should be contesting for the highest office one day in this country. My name is Eric Ntumba. I'm from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and I'm currently studying public management track of the YALI program at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. I'm currently a banker, a relationship manager at Citigroup DRC. I'm also quite involved in political activities. We're trying to build up a youth political structure to, try to participate into the upcoming presidential and parliamentary elections in the DRC. So that's an activity that happens every year, and Citigroup is very much into community service and giving back to the community. We want to see the people that were chased away from Brazzaville and brought them some mosquitoes nets so they don't suffer from malaria. I also gave blood, because we believe that what has been granted freely should also be shared freely.
They're not being inside.
I applied for the YALI program, and specifically the public management track, because I believe that I will sooner or later have to take up a leadership role into the Congolese government. So YALI to me was an opportunity to see how Americans have built the leadership structures and how they've built the democracy that works and that promotes meritocracy, where the son of the poorest American can become president. Today we met with the mayor of Fayetteville in Arkansas, and it was very interesting to see how, as a mayor, interacts at all levels of governments in the Arkansas context. So we're learning from people who are high-profile public servants or high-profile political actors, and that's really, really interesting and insightful. So today's rehearsal is the preparation of a concert that we're going to have tomorrow. We will be showcasing Africa's musical talent and poetry. We are trying to share with the people of Arkansas the values that really brings us together as Africans and as leaders. We can, as young African leaders, we can bring change to our continent, we can reduce poverty, and we can really stand up on our 2 feet for the future generation and for our own. I really believe that this experience will leave our lives changed, and that we will be able to live up to the legacy that we are trying to set right now.
We'll take a break, but when we come back, we'll meet one of Ethiopia's rising stars.
I am Sheikh Sali, host and senior editor of VOA's international call-in talk show, Straight Talk Africa.
Today we'll examine the tobacco industry.
We pretty much touch on anything that you can think of. Politics, health issues, human rights issues, you name it, we talk about it. The issues that we discuss are pertinent to most people on the African continent. A very, very rare and unique opportunity to interact with their leaders.
we are able to touch on things that are important to people on an everyday basis. We hope that our viewers are getting inspired when they watch our show. They're getting a view of the world from a different perspective, things that perhaps are not in their immediate vicinity. Today, I could put in on the show something that is a little different, a little unique, and this gives me that inspiration to come to work. Welcome back to VOA Presents YALI Special. She is one of Ethiopia's rising stars, but she also thrives at her day job. Here is one fellow who studied business administration and entrepreneurship at Clark Atlanta University.
I love music. It's kind of like my way of catching up with the fast-changing world of construction. Hello, my name is Sabak. I'm from Ethiopia, and I'm participating in the business and entrepreneurship track at Clark Atlanta University. And I like to share the good music that I create with others so that they can be inspired. I like to use it as a cause to kind of like empower women or young people. So I own a construction company back home, and we're mainly involved in building construction, trying to venture out in different kind of things. And seeing the unavailability of skilled laborers, we're trying to set up the first labor training center and also skilled labor contracting agency. Coming here now and seeing all these different trainings and all these different lectures and classes that we're taking is so relevant to all the work that I do back home. Once I go back home, it's just going to be most definite put into action.
The production of the unit.
So part of the experience has been not just learning from the lecturers and the different people and organizations that we've been visiting, but also from the fellows themselves, because they're so achieved and they seem to be very well educated within their own different sectors. So just conversating with them, you get to learn so much about how things are done within their countries and how they deal with a certain problem and what kind of opportunities exist in their countries. It's kind of like helping me as a business person to see the prospects of venturing out my business in other African countries if I ever get to that point. I would tell any young African leader out there to take the opportunity and be part of the fellowship, because it's not just a personal growth, but also a growth that you can actually contribute to your own country.
Well, joining me now are Howard University fellows studying public management. Well, here we have Fatoumata Sila from the Seychelles. She works for the president of Seychelles. And also we're joined by Gerald Afadani, who is a court registrar from Cameroon. Thank you both for joining me.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, first to you, Fatoumata. You came to the U.S. with a goal in mind, and now you have completed 6 weeks of the YALI program. Did this YALI help you achieve your objective?
I would definitely say so, because when I applied for the YALI program, it was to learn from the first country in the world, the most powerful country in the world, how they achieved to that level and how we can learn from that country to make sure that our country can go forward. And this has been met more than what I expected, but also to be able to discuss with my fellow young Africans. And I must say this has surpassed my expectations.
What have you gotten out of this program?
Okay, thank you very much. And first, I want to precise that this is a midterm assessment because I'm amongst the 100 who will be staying back for the internship, and I happen to be doing my internship at the UN Foundation, and I have the Executive Director, Chris Watley, as my supervisor. That said, this program has been very enriching, and I think from our arrival, it's been a broader base of understanding in terms of governance, communication skills, and we've learned a lot what it takes and the role of technology in bringing growth and to spur development within our continent and countries.
What are some of the, like few specific things you think you can go home with and say, I learned this?
Yeah. Personally, I'm working on a project that has to do with an integrated system in the registration of businesses. And when I got to the Howard University, we had classes on building a database, which is something which is lacking in my country. We had the opportunity to go to Oracle. This put together has given me the skills I actually needed to build an integrated system, which is going to ease the creation of businesses back in Cameroon as a means to attract foreign direct investments.
Now, Fatoumata, you were in the classroom and you had a wonderful time, but of course you did also venture outside of campus. What would you say was the highlight of the program?
Like my colleague, I do have a project in mind, and mine is about volunteering. So all the service learning, community service activities that we've been able to do have been the highlight of my experience here. Giving back to society, because like they say, when you receive a lot is expected of you. So giving back has been the most impressive part of this experience. And I've actually been able to discuss with people who have put in place NGOs that I want to put in place back home. So networking, partnership with those people who have achieved what I want to achieve has been most definitely the most important part of this experience.
So within the neighborhood of Howard University, did you manage to go to any specific place that you think you're going to go home and remember for years to come?
Wow, if I have to choose, that would be so difficult because we are here on historic grounds. So many people have come through here and they have inspired us back when we were home and right now. Even here, right at this campus, every single day when we walk up, we are inspired by all those people who have been here. And of course, those federal buildings, those federal bodies that we have been able to visit and talk to the people who actually make policies, those have been the things that have inspired me the most.
Mm-hmm. What is it that you think you would say was the highlight of the program once, especially got out of campus and went outside?
Meeting other people to discuss and network and do partnerships in prospect of building economic growth in Africa, I think it's been so enriching, and I don't think I can be able to conclude in one word to say what I've learned. But I must say, as I go back, it is a new beginning and it's a new dawn for Africa.
Thank you very much for joining me today. And that's all the time we have today. For more on VOA's YALI coverage, please visit our special YALI page at www.voanews.com/YALI.